I've had some people say they don't understand how a transit works and they've never used one. This is actually optical surveying equipment, but you can just call it a transit. Essentially what this does is create a line of sight. Now, if you are level, like that bubble is, trying to get it focused there, you see that bubble in there is perfectly level. So no matter what way I spin this, I'm creating essentially a plane or horizon on this line of sight that extends across the entire job site. Now, if I go drop my grade stick over there at that drill, way over there on the head, then I will know the relative elevation compared to my horizon. And then I can do the same thing over here where we ended, and I will be able to tell the difference in elevation from there to there. Now I can do that anywhere that this thing can see as long as it doesn't move. If you move this, your horizon changes, your numbers don't make sense anymore. But we can get into this right now and show you how it works. Now this is your grade stick, and this one goes up to 25 foot. I do not have it fully extended, but unlike a tape measure, this measures tenths of feet. So these larger numbers on here are your feet. The second largest numbers in black are your tenths, and these small notches are your hundredths. So if I wanted to, measure and my crosshair lined up right there, it would be 5.1246. 5.16 of relative elevation. So I just showed you how you read that. Showed how you can see that 5.16 feet. Now we can come over to the transit here, and this is where we actually get our true number. We would look through here, and of course we are still level, and we have not moved. And we would look through, and the middle crosshair is the one we care about, and it looks like it's sitting at 5.16. So I didn't mean to do that, but that's how it worked out. The spot that I picked to show in the example is how this is leveled. So 5.16 is the relative height where the grade stick is at. Now I can take that grade stick and stick it anywhere else on this plane of horizon. And if I can see that grade stick, I can tell the difference in elevation from, say, that point over there to that point there, or even that pole there to that point there. So let's actually do that. Let's take a stick, we'll set it up at that pole, and we'll be able to tell the difference in elevation from the base of the grade stick there to the base of the pole there. So it looks like this one is going to be 11.1246. 11.16. So that one's actually pretty easy that it worked out like that, because 5.16 from 11.16 is exactly 6 feet. So I know from right there to right there is a 6 foot drop straight down. Another way to think about this is in dollars and cents. So if you've got your grade stick here, the red largest numbers are your dollars, these black numbers are your dimes, and these little notches are your pennies. So let's say that's $6, 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, all the way up to $7. And these are your pennies. So let's say your crosshairs ended right there on the bottom of that notch. You'd be $6, 80, 20, 40, 50, $6.85. Let's try another spot. Let's say you're right here. That'd be $8, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $8.26. Now these little notches are separate numbers. So the bottom of the notch is going to be your odd, and the top of the notch is going to be your even. So 6, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now you're at 8.3. We'll do one more of these just to see if you're getting it. Let's say your crosshairs end, at that notch just below the 2, at the top of the notch. I'll give you a second here. You can pause the video if you need to. All right, 8.18. So if you were looking through your crosshair on your transit and landed right there, it'd be 8.18. All right, now we can do some math. So we know that right there we had 5.16, and over there we had 11.16. Now this doesn't ever work out like this. You don't ever get a perfect 6, so a little strange, but we'll take it. So imagine you're doing a drill shot from the base of that right there to the base of that pole there. But you know, you wouldn't normally be set up like this. This is just an example. Let's say they want you 3.5 foot deep over there, 42 inches. The way that you would plan this is you'd take your 11.16, you'd add 3.5 equals 14.51. So you take your 14.51, which is your new depth that you need, minus 5.16 equals, and I'm going to need my calculator for that because I'm not brilliant. Maybe I can do it. I'm not even going to try. I don't want to fuck it up. We'll take 14.51 minus 5.16, 9.35. So if I were to set up my drill right there, I know that I would need to lose 9.35 feet to be at depth over there. Let's say your drill sets up at a negative 26. So on your first rod, with your head touching the ground there, and 10 foot. Now, let's say you set up at a negative 26. You're going to lose 2.6 feet in your first 10 foot. And if you did it again, negative 26, you'd lose 5.2. And we're already over halfway there. So if we're building this bore plan by hand, we know it's time to start coming up. Let's say they're 10% rods that you can bend. We'll just go ahead and take it to a 16. You know what? Let's not overbend it. Let's just take it to an 18. We'll just do 8%. So we know that this is now going to be 7.0. And all I'm doing is taking that 1.8 foot of loss on that 10 foot and adding it to this. So 5.2 plus 1.8. Now we've got 2.35 feet left to lose. Let's say this is 50 foot shot. I know I've got 2 more rods to get there. So how am I going to do that? Well, I can take my 9.35 minus 7 equals 2.35, divide that by 2 and get 1.1. I'm not even sure what it is. I'm guessing, but I know I'm aiming for about 11 or 12%. So this next one, we'll take it to 12. And now we're at 8.2 minus 12 is 9.4. So we know that if we follow this bore plan in that 50 foot shot, we're going to end at a relative depth of 9.4 from our horizon, which is pretty close to what we wanted. Now, if you're building for perfection, you could fix this. You could get that 9.35 by just going to maybe a 11.5%, and that would get you there. I don't know if you want to go, you know, get that complicated with it. I'm generally going to say that being within 0.05 of a foot is going to be close enough for most everyone. Now, that is how you build a basic bore plan with a grade stick and a transit, using a level horizon to find your elevation differences and do the math to hit your depth. Or use BoreWise, and it does it in about 1 second.
Let's see how long it actually takes. 5.16, 14.51, starting at negative 26, 50 foot bore, 10 foot rods. It's only bent 8%. Got a 6-inch head. Calculate. Yeah, that was about 1 second. Get yourself a grade stick, get yourself a transit, go to borewise.com. Start building bore plans faster and easier and safer.